problem. We're going to explain that. Plus, a now-married K. Michelle admits she wasn't marriage material.
Will Smith has a response to getting trolled about his alleged AI concert crowds, and is T.I. and Tiny's son Major Harris going to be bigger than Michael Jackson? He thinks so. We got all that and more.
Welcome to Side Dish. I think we might need to fix HK's inner ear.
That'd be cute.
It's live.
Well, listen, man, we thug it out. That's what we do over here. Here's Side Dish. We're more than an appetizer when it comes to pop culture and fun. We are the whole meal, man. Hope life is treating y'all well on the other side of that camera.
How was everyone's Labor Day? That's what I want to know.
Hopefully it was laborious.
Laborious.
In the best ways possible.
In the best ways possible. I'm still recovering. Still recovering. It's been a couple days, but I'm still recovering.
It sometimes requires a couple days.
Yeah.
Like I went to, when's the last time you rode a amusement park roller coaster? Not one of those nice smooth ones where like the tracks are like made of the railing and stuff like that, but the ones with the tracks. Like when the villain would tie the dame to the tracks and I got the deed to the house.
Like one of those wooden coasters?
Yeah, it was a
No, I haven't ridden one of those in a long time.
Yeah, I was on one of those. And they hit differently when you, cross the mile marker of 30 plus. And yeah.
That's going to take your spine, which is nice and aligned, and make it like all crinky crackly.
Yeah, let's make it like a coiled curl, shall we? All right, it's time for some Feed Me, and this is everyone's worst nightmare. Now, we don't think it's AI, but take a look at what happens at the end. Check this out.
There's a bear in the house, Alyssa. There's a bear in the house, Alyssa.
Get up!
Stay upstairs.
Oh my god, 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 oh my god.
Get the f out of here. Yeah, how did he get in?
Mom!
So, fuck up. We need someone. Get inside there. Get inside. I'm calling cops. Get inside. Oh my god.
Yo, Abby, watch me. I'm gonna open the door.
No, Sam. Just open it, just open it. Wait. I'm watching your back. Here, go.
Yeah, because most AI clips are about 8 seconds.
Yeah. He's
Things
huge.
stitch together.
Get inside the fucking door. He's huge.
That bark was AI.
Yo, he's getting out. Hey, 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 hey. Get out of here, bear.
There's a bear in the house, Alyssa. There's a bear in the house, Alyssa.
Get up.
Stay upstairs. He's crawled out. He's up on the thing.
Yo.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
My man got a bowl he like.
And also, bro getting the content. That's what I understand the assignment.
Yo, do you know how that content would have been shot from outside the house if that was me?
No.
Sometimes you got to risk life and limb to get 1 million views.
It's leaving. It opened the fucking door.
No, the garage door is closed.
It just opened the door. It can't touch the cars. It can't touch the cars.
See, it can't touch the cars, lady. It'll touch whatever it wants.
That's not real. Are you on the phone with the cops? Yes.
Yep.
Yo, and I didn't even see how the bear entered. Did he have a key?
A bear will just walk in, bro. Bears got like no natural predators. They will just walk in.
But did they leave a door kind of just gently propped open?
There had to be a door gently propped open. There had to be some kind of interesting smell in there. Like, you hear about this happening. Like, there's not a lot of bears that I know of in Atlanta. It depends on what parades you go to. But there's definitely a lot of bears. Definitely a lot of bears in Southern California. And you hear about this stuff all the time, like in the mountains just outside of LA.
Damn, yo, like, cause I would have like everything like double lock, like how they do like, like cribs in the hood.
Right,
like you got the window and that little gate thing to where like, no one could climb in or out.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that black bear was looking for a honey pack.
A honey pack?
Yeah, people be getting it from the gas station. You ain't up on a honey pack?
Wait, what, like the little gel?
Yeah.
Wait, really, or am I confused?
No, yeah, like, but gas station honey packs.
I don't guess I know what this is, really.
Ah, man, it's gonna change the dynamics of your dating life.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
If you know, you know.
Excellent. All right, moving on. So Love and Hip Hop's Young Jock's wife, Kendra, sat down with Carlos King, and she talked about her feelings on her husband having an outside baby on her.
Regardless of whatever type of story he gave me, like, oh, drunk this, drunk that, this and that, I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with me, and that's, and that's just how I felt, and that's how I feel. I'm like, that don't have nothing to do with me. Think, like, people say in the comments all the time, oh, she should have forgave him, and she shouldn't have stayed with him, she wasn't gonna forgive him. I forgave him. I forgave him. But what I don't allow Jaceel to do is allow me to carry a burden that's not for me. I've always said, and I will always have that be a rule for me. You will take accountability or this ain't gonna work. Like, I don't have nothing to do with that. Especially a decision you make that negatively impacts me, you have to deal with that. That was my condition.
Yo, there was two major takeaways for me on that thing. You look also equally shocked. Go ahead.
No. Let me hear the takeaways. I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around her reasoning. But let me hear your takeaways.
First and foremost, this Negro named Jaceel, Young Jaceel, I had no idea what Young Jock stood for, and now I know. Big ups. I learned something new. But also, too, she's the MVP. Because I say this all the time. If you are on break and you're not actively in the relationship during that time, those things shouldn't count as much as the things that happen when you guys were full speed in the relationship.
They were, okay, that's information to me. I'm not familiar, I'm not up on their relationship. They were taking a break, they were separated.
I mean, based off of what, she said right there, because I wasn't like super duper like invested either,
Okay,
but the fact that she was like, hey, listen, that happened, but that doesn't concern me because it happened during the break. And but she also is removing her hands from all responsibility of said child. Now, granted, if there was a trip, she's not gonna buckle that car seat. Ooh, that baby is gonna be doing cartwheels in the back seat, in the seat. It's not, like.
It's so tricky. That's a little complicated to me. Like, first off, if you're on a break, if you're married and you have to come to some means of separation, and either one of you are stepping outside of that relationship during the period of that 3 months, I think the relationship realistically is over. Like.
In most cases, it is.
Yeah, and it's one thing if you like, hey, we need to take a real hard look at ourselves and like take this time apart and evaluate what we both want. And I feel like if that involves like other people in just 3 months is not a long amount of time.
It's enough time to get somebody pregnant.
It's certainly, listen, you get that done in a weekend, like, if you're really trying to make that happen. And so it's like, it's weird. I understand it. She's absolutely right. The baby's got nothing to do with her. And I think it says a lot that she's like, I forgive him and I moved on, because unfortunately that baby and the stresses and the dramas surrounding it are going to involve her for the next 18 years.
Well, it depends on if the baby comes around a lot. Because sometimes even the other baby mama, I don't want that baby around that other woman.
Sure,
keep
there's
that baby.
that.
I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but
we don't know.
Keep that girl hands out of my baby hair, like all that other stuff. And so it is a remote problem for her that she doesn't have to identify with. Now, if the shoes was on the other foot, I don't think we as men would be as susceptible and as forgiving, because it's a constant daily reminder.
Well, okay, yeah. There's like two kinds of trains of thought on that, which is like men, the idea of the physical act of your partner cheating on you affects you more, and some people say that for the woman it is the did you love her argument, where it's like, it seems to be that women are a little more forgiving of a man cheating than a man forgiving of a woman cheating.
Oh, especially if you have a whole human receipt.
Yeah, exactly.
As a result of
yeah,
cheating.
baby, I forgive you for cheating, and now I got to put up with this other person's baby growing inside of you for the next night. Like, man, a guy wouldn't do that. A guy wouldn't do that.
Especially like if it's like a kid who one day is going to challenge you for the throne.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, you ain't my dad.
Man, here's my thing, and just, I don't know. If it happened once, it'll happen again. That's kind of the way I feel. Like it's easy. We're talking about full-grown adults. Like a lot has to go right for adults to conceive a baby.
True.
It's not like two teenagers and you just look at each other hard enough and one of them winds up pregnant. Like adults, you got to have the timing right. You got to make some other decisions. Now we're talking about some health. Maybe you need to get tested before you're back in this marriage.
Yeah, and I'm sure he probably went through all that. And I wish Shanika was here, because I'm sure she would have way more insight, right? Because I don't know if infidelity has been a long-running problem within that dynamic, but I mean, a break is a break. Yeah. The commercials that you see when we go to that 2-minute break, stop killing black men. That's not a part of this show. It's just a commercial you see when we go to break. It's part of the break.
Damn.
I be watching it live. Let's talk about Kate Michelle, who is rumored to be one of the newbies on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she is allegedly married to a dentist. Dr. Kastan Sims opened up during a live stream about not being marriage material and how long it took her husband to marry her. Take a look.
Y'all know I'm like Jack Daddy's queen. Like, let's not even play them games. That's been my man. He took that long. Jack Daniels married me before my husband did. Hallelujah. Like, Jack Daniels proposed to me before, you know. Yeah, it took my husband a long time to marry me. You know, people might want to crack on me and joke about that or whatever, but it took my husband. I ain't gonna even play with you like that. It took my husband a decade. You know, I wasn't perfect. I ain't gonna play. I wasn't perfect, Prince. I wasn't marriage material.
I can't say that.
I wasn't marriage material. I was with myself.
You have to find the right one.
Yeah, like, I'm a little masculine.
You ain't just anybody.
Interesting.
Did she say Jack Daniels proposed to her before?
Yeah, like she loves alcohol a lot.
Okay, yeah.
And she also has a deal with them as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I drink a lot of stuff. Celsius. It's my deal. Anyway, like, I mean, would you stick around for a chick who has potential, but you feel like it's not 100% hard no?
No. I don't know, man. It's a hard one. I'm happy for her because she seems happy now, and it seems to have worked out now. So anything that I would say that would equate to, I don't think that's the best thing, someone will turn around and say, but they're happy now. And, okay, great. Is that what you want? Do you want to wait around 10 years? Well, number one, do you want to wait on 10 years for the other person to do the self-work that they need to do to get to a place where you're going to be happy enough to marry them? That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is like, do you want to wait 10 years while this other person figures out if they want to marry you or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough component because, like, especially like when we even like look at ourselves.
Right.
Would you trust yourself from 10 years ago doing some of the things you do now?
Oof.
And for some people, the answer is yes. Some people, I've been responsible the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
And for other people, it's like, oh, I was wild. Like, there was no way that I could have, like, fully been the person that I am for my partner today that I was years ago, you know what I mean? So
I also think the marriage thing does have the most to do with the guy, because like women are like, we talked about Bella Thorne or something got on her knee. Was that Bella Thorne, right? We talked about her last week. Like, she proposed to her fiance after he proposed to her like a year ago. But most women aren't doing that. We know that part of the relationship is typically the masculine, the male part of the relationship, and it's like let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. How long from you and your wife becoming official, like just dating, like we're together, to marriage? How long was that time?
It gets weird, man, because like we went on our first date like on New Year's Eve, so I get the year screwed up. But since 2010, like that's when we got married. So yeah.
No, I mean from that date, I would guess like.
Oh, no, it was a long-term courtship.
Okay, 10 years?
6.
6?
Yeah, because at least 2004. Yeah, like 6 years.
Okay, 6 years, I don't think, to me, that's on the upper end.
Oh, yeah.
That's not crazy.
There are definitely claw marks in the driveway, because my thing was, I've seen all of my friends.
Yeah.
And even my parents have a terrible marriage. And like most of the married people I knew were miserable.
Fact.
And they hated it.
Yep.
I knew some people that were like separated but couldn't afford to get married.
Yeah.
And they were stuck in this trap. And it was one of those situations where it's like, yo, can't we just go together really hard and do marriage stuff? You know what I'm saying? But
I get that.
Eventually, after someone hits the wall with a batarang enough, the defenses go down, and you'd be like, okay.
All right, I guess I will.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's tricky. 10 years feels like a real long time for me, especially if a woman wants to get married and she doesn't know if this guy is ever gonna like commit to that.
Yeah. I mean, also too, like, maybe that person saw something in her that like, hey, like, listen, you're almost there.
Yeah.
And if we got married now, we would be part of that percentage that gets divorced shortly after the marriage. So
sure.
Shout out to him for riding it out.
There we go.
No pun intended.
Also, shout out to her for recognizing where she says, like, I wasn't marriage material. Like, that's a journey that you've got to be willing to go on. That's that inner work you got to be willing to do. Most people aren't accountable enough to look at themselves and say, oh, no, I need to change how I move through these things. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, working out for both of them. All right, we've talked about this a little bit, I think, last week. It's been making the rounds online. So Will Smith, right? So a concert video footage has been shared by Will Smith of his audience at his concerts. It's been drawing attention online because people are accusing these clips of having AI-generated crowds. Okay, check out this video. Is that AI Will Smith?
No, this is an actual song. Wow.
So those clips that we just showed here, they don't look as bad as some of them I've seen, and I've also seen some stills that were very curiously AI. Like, do we have some photos? Do we have some extra photos? There's one where I saw. There's one where I saw where it had the telltale AI thing of like, wait, how many fingers does that dude have?
Yeah.
But that's even kind of older style AI now. It's gotten so much better at hands.
Yeah, no, the levels of detail that these things have the ability to present these days is mind blowing.
I know you work with it more than I do, especially on the video side. What is your gut say?
Sometimes you can't even really tell unless you're watching it on a blown up screen.
Yeah.
Because like if you're editing on a small phone, even something as small as an iPad screen, even sometimes some computer screens, depending on how big they are, you don't see all the inconsistencies sometimes. But then when it's blown up and then when people really got time to like look at things differently, you know, because some people hate Will Smith enough to where like they're gonna look at everything he does with a microscope, right?
Yeah.
And granted, okay, maybe some of those sign holders were fake. That was a real ass audience.
That was
an arena that he was performing in.
Yeah.
That people came to see him.
For sure.
You know, at the end of the day, like I think if the signs were real, it would be like, yo, your music slaps, bro, or like something like that.
You don't think a bunch of my cousins are at a Will Smith concert holding up a sign that says "Take us back to Bel Air"?
I don't think that's happening. I really don't. Like that was the giveaway for me.
Yeah, that was the one where I was like, who is like, "Take us back to Bel Air, Will"?
Be like, Will got hits, and it's like that logo of the slapping hand, you know what I mean? Well, Will being Will played into the chatter and shared this response video. Check him out.
We about to turn this thing up. We about to turn it up. Is everybody ready? Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Wait, what? Oh, is that cats?
Oh, wow.
All right, well done. Well done, Will.
Oh man, yo, the wild thing is like even remember during the pandemic when like it was like Will Smith and Jason Derulo out here with this George Lucas quality effects and stuff going on with their social media content. So of course he gonna have the resources to like do saucy things. But yo, the cats was wild. I didn't even notice it right away. I was looking at the people with the little light stick things.
It took me a minute to figure out it was cats. It's funny, like this is like one of our producers made the point. It's like, is anybody crying at a Will Smith concert? Like who out here was like?
What song evokes that emotion?
Right.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Summertime in a cold city that never had it.
Seeing Will Smith is not like seeing Michael Jackson.
Nah.
Anything you want to do, you can do it. And then someone's just like, I know I can do anything. You know, like.
And he just started kind of making those songs.
Yeah.
You know, like with this recent project. And I don't think those people know the words to those songs like that.
No, they definitely don't.
They didn't really give it the love it deserved.
Here's the thing about the Cats video is it looks so good. I'm almost like,
where are these cat people at?
First off, where are you keeping the cat people, Will? You're in the Hollywood Illuminati. But second off, I'm like, yo, if you could have had the crowd and then like someone on his team is like, let me get a poster that says this and someone holding it and add that into the crowd and you're only showing it for a couple seconds.
They should do a video where it's like a whole audience of Chris Rocks.
That would be, oh no.
Like lean all the way into it.
What if it's someone with like a Chris Rock sign and it's like got two hands and they just like do, like clap?
Yo, man, let's talk about T.I. and Tidy's son, King Harris, man. He sat down with Reginae on her new podcast, It's Airtime, and King revealed that his goal is to be bigger than this star. And no, it's not his mom or dad.
So my goal is to be bigger than Michael Jackson. And that's the goal.
You and Michael?
Nah,
I got something.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. That's been my boy since I was a toddler.
Period. My little brother used to love Michael. I don't know if he still love him, but I know he used to love Michael.
My son more like a Bob Marley type. He like Bob Marley.
He like Bob Marley?
Yeah,
My dad was like obsessed with Bob Marley.
Yeah, he like Bob Marley. So that goal is just to keep me pushing. That goal is, you know what I'm saying? That's a goal that's not too easy that ain't easy to reach.
Well, congratulations, King Harris, because I just looked it up, and you are bigger than Michael Jackson. Because Michael Jackson is 5'9" and King is 5'10".
Okay. He's already bigger.
Yeah.
He's already bigger than Michael Jackson.
Somebody in the comments said he's not even bigger than his baby sister, Eris. And to that, I say shame on you, because I definitely know King more, because he's in the news a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he gets, you know, stuff be happening.
He's got a, nope. The other thing is, I do like how he added, it's like, that's a goal to keep him pushing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he genuinely, in his heart of hearts, has his eye set on Michael Jackson level success and stardom, which I don't think is ever coming around again. I don't think anyone, you know, our Beyoncés, our Taylor Swifts, those are like the closest. I don't think anyone's ever going to be Michael Jackson again.
I mean, it was such a special, magical pocket of time, right? And I don't know, I do operate in a space where I feel like people have the potential, an artist has the potential to be bigger than Michael Jackson.
Wow.
But it's just going to look different.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're looking at it through Thriller metrics.
Sure.
Which was a moment in time that I think you could never capture with The Perfect Storm, with the music videos and everything. But like, look what Beyonce out here doing. Look what Taylor Swift out here doing. Chris Brown sold out with a Braves play, like
That's
2
true.
nights in a row.
That's true.
I ain't never seen traffic like that. We won the pennant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's possible, and just aim for the moon.
Keep going.
And you might hit the stars, you know?
Keep going, yeah.
Shout out to you, King.
Yeah, shout out. I mean, you should have a big lofty goal, you know? Like, Michael Jackson is just like one of those names. It's like, I mean, and you should shoot for the all-time greats. That's one of those names that sometimes, I guess it's me and the generation that I'm from, where I'm just like, oh, it'll never happen again. But I guess it could.
I used to shoot for like really, and I still do, I do like really low goals. So when it happened, like, yo, I would have been on TV more than Stoney Jackson. And we've done it.
You've done it, you did it.
14 years a dish.
14 years.
5 days a week.
5 days a week. That's 5 hours a week times 52 weeks a year.
Stoney Jackson maybe did 2 seasons of 227. Who's next?
You had that beat a long time ago. A long time ago. All right, we got more Side Dash after break. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes. What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, Yellowstone actor Cole Hauser. This guy's had some issues with female fans who can't keep their hands to themselves. Here's what he told Page 6 about his craziest fan interactions with older women.
Since your character is such like a huge sex symbol, have there been any crazy, like wild fan encounters that you've had to deal with?
I've had some old women grab my ass.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a little bit strange, but it's strange. For the most part, everybody's been very respectful, but I think when the older ladies get a few drinks in them, they get a little aggressive.
Wow.
The older ladies get away with murder.
I wouldn't even say just older ladies. I just say like ladies and gentlemen. Because guys, we're not likely to report that sort of thing.
Right.
You know, like something happened to me the other night, and it was like, you know, like, when are you playing next? Sort of thing. Like there was an artist that was on stage, right? And she pulled me up on stage. And then like, you know, sometimes you have intrusive thoughts, right? And be like, yo, I should pick her up in front of everybody, like from the front. And I didn't. I was like, that would be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Then she grabbed my whole joint.
On stage?
On stage.
In front of everybody?
In front of everybody.
Mic in one hand, mic in the other hand?
Yeah, Mike and Mike.
Wow.
And it was like, okay. You know, and I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't enjoy it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I could understand, like, if you didn't sign up for that.
Yeah.
Maybe your wife and kids are in the audience. They weren't.
Right.
That would have been an issue.
That hits differently.
Yeah.
That hits differently under
But
that
as a
context.
person who was just out on his own that night, just hosting a show.
Yeah, I've never been assaulted on stage. I'm trying to think if I've ever
Not
been...
even when you worked at bars? Like, you never got like
No.
Really?
Well, no, every now and then a number would slide across the bar or an inappropriate comment or some sort of like wild interaction would begin. But there's never a time where I was doing anything and like someone fondled me or gripped me up. Like I definitely got some like pats from ladies as I might
game?
Yeah, I definitely got the old good game multiple times while you're carrying like a box of stuff through the bar or whatever. But yeah, nothing to that degree. But women do get away with it.
Did you tell HR? Like when you people? Yeah,
No.
of course.
No, well, they were also the ladies who happened to tip well, so.
They wanted you to tip well.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted me just to tip well, so. Yeah.
But I mean, but to any of the guys in the chat, has this happened to you? And how did you react to it? Because like sometimes, especially if the person's older, you know, like you'd be like, oh, knock it off. You just out here having a good time.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been hit on a little bit more directly by some older ladies, and I always like wink and smile, and then I'll like rub their shoulder a little bit, and I'm like, I'm gonna get out of here, gam, and then I walk off, and I know I've made their night just by like kicking it there.
It's the little things. You know, like, I think there's a lot of guys. If we knew that the light was green, we would allow ourselves to be Lady Eloise.
Lady Eloise?
You've seen Boomerang.
Wait, Boomerang.
Jesus
wait,
Christ,
hold on.
Tanner,
You're talking about.
They gonna take a rib off the plate, Tanner. I'm so glad Labor Day already happened because like your plate would have been short of rib. So Boomerang was a movie with Eddie Murphy, right? And Eartha Kitt played this woman named Lady Eloise.
I know who Eartha Kitt.
She ran this whole like perfume company that Eddie Murphy played. He played a guy named Marcus.
Yeah.
And he was a part of the marketing department, and she was trying to give it to him the entire film.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, "Yo, you too old. This is gross." You know what I'm saying?
Kitt?
Yeah, but at the time she was much older. It's not how you remember her.
It's not
in Batman.
It's not OG Catwoman. Eartha Kitt.
Yeah. But
Cole Hauser, the funny thing about the Cole Hauser bit, just circling back around, is he was never considered a sex symbol until Yellowstone happened.
Oh, word?
And he's like kind of a bigger guy, but then he like grew the beard and started playing this rough cowboy character. And like women I know out of nowhere find this guy. It's literally the beard took him to that level. Like without a beard, his face is kind of round, but then he grew the beard, was like wearing a cowboy hat, doing cowboy things, and then women started to come for this man.
You literally. Do you remember when what's my man from Parks and Recreation? Chris Pratt. When Chris Pratt leveled up?
Yeah.
He went from being the chubby dude on Parks and Rec to being Star-Lord, and then all of a sudden, like the quality of attention he got changed too.
Well, we say that, but he was also married to Anna Faris, who like has been attractive, been sort of classically attractive for the last 20 years.
Yeah. But more people started paying it. I think his options went up. You know what I'm saying? When he got in the Star-Lord shape.
Absolutely.
Well, switching gears real quick, Chicago rapper Baby Chief Do It might not do it when it comes to writing his own lyrics. Now, he admitted to using AI to his advantage by using ChatGPT to help him with one thing. Check out what he told Power 105.1.
You be motivating people you don't even remember.
I ain't gonna lie, I just be happy on my to get off my chest, you feel me?
ChatGPT probably wrote that for you.
Yeah, boy. I just downloaded that 2 days ago. I didn't know that worked so well. I've been using that to write my lyrics, real.
Word, ChatGPT?
Hell yeah, that shit work.
How do you use it to write your lyrics? Like you type in what you wanted to say?
What I did was I wrote down 4 bars, and I said, write me a song, and then it said, give me a start me out, something like that. And bro, I started him off, whatever the fuck it is. It wrote some shit. Now, I ain't use it, exactly how it was written, but it was some, some shit that I could pull out of.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit was cool.
Yeah, this is gonna be the norm for a lot of people. He's like 16, 17 years old, and I mean, like, a lot of people from a certain pocket of time, myself included, vilify this sort of thing because it's like, oh, you're not really using your brain. You know what I mean? You're using assistance, you're using aids. But at every point, I think, in history and technology, as it always improves, the generation prior always looks at, like, even in the DJ space, like, yo, no, you're supposed to bring 15 crates of vinyl in here every night. And then when cats started showing up with the CDJs and then the MP3s with the Serato, like, that's not real, but there's always gonna be people questioning the tools.
Yeah. Yo, when calculators came out, people were like, no one's ever gonna learn to do math anymore. No one's gonna learn to do it by hand. And so it's just like, it's always been that thing. With
you don't have to count by hand. The other day, like, my kid came home, my 13-year-old Terrence, he was like, yo, I need to get me this graphing calculator.
Oh, TI-83 time.
The TI-83, and I'm like, if you don't download that free TI-83 app off the Apple App Store right now, like, I'm not gonna buy a $200 calculator that you're gonna use for 6 weeks.
They're still $200?
They still up there.
That's crazy.
But there's literally an app that you can download that does the exact same thing.
Well, here's the thing that's so crazy, dude. I thought about hitting you up the other day. I was like, I need to take like a music production class from HK because you make all the beats and all the stuff for like all the recap for apps you've been doing. And I know some of those you use different apps for, but like you could probably use, because there are AI bands out now.
Absolutely. I know there was like one, like the Velvet something. I forgot what they were called.
Sunrise or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they making a grip of money for somebody on Spotify.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's all about how you use the tools and apply your science to it. Like, when people completely take their hands off the wheel and let it do everything, boo.
Right.
But when you like, all right, help me with the workflow.
Yeah.
Give me something to talk about that I haven't talked about yet. Then maybe if it helps you with that, cool. But to have it write your whole song, and granted, you can hand great lyrics to anybody. It does boil down to the performance and the performer,
at the end of the
too.
day, yeah.
So it's a 50-50 thing, but like, I'm still in a space to where, like, yo, I'm still gonna do a bulk of the work. And you can't lean all the way on the tech, because then you're gonna get lazy.
Well, and the other thing is, that's the way that he talked about it, is like, he put in his bars, and he was like, asked the thing to help him write a song, and he said he came up with some stuff, some of it he was able to pull from, some of it he wasn't able to pull from. And like, that's just good use of a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is gonna probably actually help a lot of people from a certain pocket of rap generation sound better, because some of these guys sound awful. I'd rather put a Q-tip in my ear and fall on it than listen to some of these guys.
Yeah. All right, we've got to move on to this one. Just last week, Saturday Night Live cast member Devin Walker talked about his leaving the show, and he called it toxic. Now there's articles from former SNL cast members who pretty much said the same thing as Devin. If you follow Saturday Night Live closely, you know that this is not new news. Bill Hader was talking about the live aspect of SNL. He said, I'm just not built for it. Before shows, I would go into a bathroom that was down this hall, and I would have a full-blown panic attack. I would be crying, the whole thing. Casey Wilson also said, in the year and a half of utter madness I was there, I began taking antidepressants to lift myself up from the bottom. The relief of being dropped outweighed the regret. I've made peace with most of my regrets, including being let go from SNL. I got to send in a Saturday Night Live audition tape this has been many moons ago.
What?
Yeah. I got to send one in. I don't even know if they watched it. Let me just preface that. But I got on a list. I could send one in, and I knew it was going to go that direction. And I had this talk with my manager at the time. This was I don't know, 2018 or something like that. And this was the conversation we had. Is his whole thing was like, the show will work you to death. Like, Saturday Night Live is a very difficult show. It's a very difficult environment. Like, it is sink or swim to such a degree where, like, we know the names of a few handout stars or standout stars every single season. And, like, if you're not that person or you're not writing for that person, you slowly get filtered down and they will let you go.
Yeah, now I watch so much SNL, I could tell you who's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
And in what order. And and as much as I was rooting for Devin Walker, I could see how they was using him the first couple seasons that he was on. It's like, yeah, I don't know if my man gonna make it unless he's like helping write the Weekend Update or something like that. You know, sometimes they don't know what to do with certain cast members and they just like, all right, you're an accessory player in the background and all that.
Well, unfortunately, so much of it is dependent upon what do you bring to the table for yourself. Because, like, for an audition, like, you submit a tape and it includes, it should include your impersonations, right? Because, like, if you have a killer, like, what's the guy's name who does the Trump? James Austin Johnson. Went viral on Twitter a couple of years ago for his Trump impersonation. And he was just, like, a comedic actor in Los Angeles doing skits and stuff like that. But his Trump impersonation started to go viral on Twitter so hard it was perfect. So, of course, he gets the Saturday Night Live audition. Of course, he gets the job. And so, like, if you're of the moment, there's that. Or are you so skilled as an actor you can make anything funny? But then otherwise it is, what are the skits that you were pitching and how are you writing those skits?
What impressions did you do when you turned in your tape?
I'm not going to do them now. What did I do? I did hold on. I did two. I'm trying to remember. Oh, man. I don't remember.
If you didn't do Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, yo,
no,
it was such a missed opportunity.
Well, no, it's like I kind of feel like so many people did that when I tried to do one that nobody had done before. I think I did like a Nicolas Cage, like Nicolas Cage the folk singer or something like that, like Nicolas Cage, which is like not too far off from the Cages are trying to kill me. They're very close to each other.
Why can't I think of her name when it matters?
Yeah. I can't think of the woman.
Something Aldridge? No, that's not her name.
No,
Stifler's mom. Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge. So yeah, it's a tough work environment, you know. It's a tough work environment.
Like, everybody needs to like have a one-on-one conversation with Kenan Thompson because he has figured it out.
Yeah.
That dude don't ever look stressed. He looks happier from year to year.
Oh yeah.
Like he's the longest survivor of Squid Game.
He's the longest tenure. I think it was Tim Meadows before him. I think Tim Meadows was like the longest tenured member, and then it was Kenan Thompson. I think there might be a white guy, not Daryl Hammond. He was up there. But Kenan, at this point, is the longest tenured member. And I'm going to throw this out there. People keep talking about, well, when's the last season going to be? Are they going to wrap the show? Like, and my always thought was like, well, Lauren's so old. Lauren Michaels has to retire at some point. I feel like Kenan Thompson should be the executive producer.
I agree. They were saying Kenan and somebody else too. Tina Fey would also be Dave. Amy Poehler, I think, has a good thumb on what it is.
That's a powerful triangle right
Hell
there.
Hell yeah,
sure.
because I don't think it should rest on the shoulders of one person. Because a lot of people, every time somebody says anything about SNL, that show ain't been funny in 20 years, and apparently you're not watching it. Because that's the cast that they've had for the last 2 or 3 years, and then even other blips and other pockets of time, like the Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, Maya Rudolph era, like, this is a dynamic cast. Like, everybody, Marcelo
kills it, yeah.
What's the Asian dude? Bowen Yang.
Bowen Yang,
Like, they got a squad right now. It's like the Lakers of whatever year they was winning.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're killing it. Good luck to them. Anyway, we gotta go to break, but when we come back in 2 minutes, guess what we got for you? More show.
Welcome back. All right, so a high schooler took his mom to his prom after promising to do so when he was a wee little boy. And the reactions, oddly enough, the reactions are a mixed bag. Check this out.
They're never gonna guess I'm your mom, cause baby, this is Jessica Rabbit. What's a bigger flex than your kid thinking you look good enough or cool enough to be his date to his prom? Raising a man of his word, as he spoke this into existence 10 years ago.
If like prom was around these years, I would have went with my mom.
Why?
She's not married. She looks nice.
Oh, was that him when he was little?
Tell me.
Wow. I don't even know that person, and I want to ask if he could have company.
Can I stay over tonight?
Yeah, like, is your mom cooking? And if so, what?
Yeah.
Man, well, according to the comments, the mom escorted him into the prom and only stayed for a few minutes because, I don't know, she was probably getting gawked at, like, very heavily.
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think she really had an interest in, like, staying at the prom and monopolizing his evening and his dances. Like, prom's a special night, you know, for the kids.
Yeah.
But I actually do like this. I think it's sweet. I think it's really sweet. I think it'd be a memory they cherish forever. I don't understand why somebody's hating on it.
Yeah, because like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, if he didn't have an actual date, and you know, and I don't know this man, I don't know why personally he couldn't pull it off. Sure. Didn't look like he was a burn victim or anything.
Yeah.
But you know, why would he? And no offense to any burn victims out there, because one time I said something like that, and they're like, listen, I'm. Never mind. But at the end of the day, I don't understand why he couldn't just pull somebody. But shout out to his mom for coming through and sticking up for his kid when it matters the most. It doesn't erode your personality if that happens.
Yeah, you can have a stellar personality and also need to have a lot of creams.
I'm sorry, man. I was like, I was one hug away from being okay as a person.
I think it's adorable. I think it's wonderful. I think if you're hating on this, then your brain is going to all kinds of like weird, crazy, judgmental places. She does look lovely.
Yeah.
And kudos to her. Honestly, kudos to her for having a relationship with her son where he invites her to spend time around him that she does not have to.
Yeah.
You know?
I was trying to look at the plates to figure out what city that was in.
Yeah, right.
You know, just to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving on. We've got another bad advertisement for you. And for some of our day ones, you know how we get down. Bad advertisements are pretty much, you know, advertisements that are like amazing, but they're also so bad that they're super amazing. And this is a segment we used to do back in the day when we first started. The real ones know what we talk about. But anyway, check this out. I bet you still won't know what they're promoting.
Oh, the house is about to explode. Yeah. Whoa.
ขาวเสมอใต้วงแขน
Yo.
Miss Teen Dio Spray Whitener
Miss Tin มาแล้วค่ะ
The emotional roller coaster. Where did you think it was going?
Well, I knew the house was going to explode because I know those things make little sparks, and we saw the gas, and I'm like, well, this makes perfect sense. But what brilliant advertising, because it's an advertisement for like deodorant, underarm deodorant, and she's got her arms up in the air from the second she walks on screen.
I hope they won 100 awards that year.
Yeah.
This was released in 2004, and it's Mistine Neo Spray. It lightens and evens out the underarm skin tone for a smoother appearance. Because, you know, sometimes people will be like a certain color, like the rest of their body, and their underarms be really weird, probably because of friction.
I didn't even think about that. Never thought about colorism of armpits.
Neither have I, like, you know, having armpit hair and everything.
Asian countries,
they got different problems. Remember that one we played where it was like the black dude got the balloon for the little girl?
Yeah.
And then like the mom was mad, like, don't be talking to that black dude. Then he went and laid on his bed, then he was toothpaste.
So weird. All right, we're gonna be back in 2 minutes with more Side Dish.
Welcome back. All right, now let's check out this video of someone telling us about an Alabama couple and their unusual baby name.
These people had a baby in Alabama. They said they wanted a unique name. The hospital says it won't even go in our system. We can't do it. If you want to name it that, you have to go to the courthouse. And whatever y'all are thinking that it is, it's y'all. You can't even wrap your brain. You're not ready. You can't. No one could be ready. The name they picked, you can see it there. They pronounce it Zerfgolzi. Zerfgolzi. Zerfgolzi, bro. Zerfgolzi. No.
I wonder if the meds that they gave the mom during delivery was still like in effect when they were asked.
You know what would be really fun? Oh man, this might be a new segment.
What?
What would be really fun is we hear the name of a child and then we have to guess who the parents.
Oh.
Guess what the parents, like Zerfgolski, I feel like Zerfgolski is like my annoying cousins had this kid.
Definitely thinking like Eastern Europe, somebody we fought in a previous world war.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Russia, Germany, something along the lines. Czech Republic even.
Zerfgolzi.
Yo, like in the way it's written with the XFRGOLSZZXY, it's like, you know how you ever use your phone, it's wet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it just types whatever it wants.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, it seemed like that's what they went with. Zerfgolzi.
It looks to me like X-Frogs go zoo.
If you say it 3 times, you get power.
Yeah, X-Frogs. Yeah, then you point. Yeah, that's crazy. Name your kids not Zerfgolski. I mean, yeah, Zerfgolski. What's the kid's last name?
Williams.
Zerfgolzi Williams. Jeez. Will X stand up? Little Zerf. All right, we're gonna be back in 2 minutes with everybody's favorite game.
Whose cousin is it?
Welcome back. All right, it's time for everybody's favorite game. Whose cousin is it? We should put that beat in the ChatGPT and have it write us a crime rap.
Oh yeah, like maybe that little kid from the beginning of the earlier story, like have him do an intro.
All right, here we go. When a Texas mom tells her baby daddy, "Tag, you're it," and literally Uber Eats her baby. Oh no. So get this, a 26-year-old woman in Waco, my cousin, got arrested for leaving her baby in a car seat outside the father's apartment at 2:04 a.m.
So here's the play-by-play. Mom dropped the baby off, sent the text to the baby's father that said, "Come and get your baby. She's at the door. Talk to you tomorrow." Then followed up with, "I don't care. Call CPS." That's Child Protective Services to the uninitiated. Get your kid, bro.
Wow. According to cops, she hit him with several more texts, literally begging him to open the door. But at some point, she gave up and went home. By the time the dad checked his text, it was 2:45 a.m. He opened the door, and the baby was sitting there like, "It took you long enough."
Now, cops rolled up at mom's house, found her drinking, allegedly, and hit her with a third-degree felony of abandoning and endangering a child without intent to return. All right, y'all, whose cousin is this?
I've driven through Waco. I've been through a lot of Texas. I know Texas has all cousins. Texas has all cousins. I do feel like this is my cousin.
What was the major factors that make you lean that way?
Let me think. It is the geographic location.
Okay.
Waco, Branch Davidian.
Yeah,
I don't know if any of your cousins were in Branch Davidian.
Not one.
Not a single.
Yeah, they wasn't following the sinful Messiah.
They were not. My cousins love that stuff. So I think it's my cousin. Also, I don't care, call Child Protective Services. That feels like a wild threat. And I feel like my cousin might make that threat.
Really? See, I thought that statement was only inclusive to our side of the fence. Because, like, that definitely sounds like something one of my cousins would say, "Come get your baby. I left your baby at the door. I'm about to go to Shekinah house." I don't know. And they're also Waco, yes. They are known for the Branch Davidians, but they're also known for the singing group High Five, who like the way you play the kissing game. Waco/Killeen is where they're from.
Okay, Killeen, Texas.
Yeah, so, and I know that they're not too far. So it could be 50-50.
It could be both, because the mother, the cousin we're trying to identify as the mother. This could be this, because there's two people involved in this scenario.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say the mother was my cousin and the baby dad was mixed.
Oh.
Mixed cousin.
Because I don't think other cousin is doing this.
I don't think so either. Nah, because they want to make sure their baby's okay. Like, we'd be like, we put too much faith in the toughness of our babies. Like, yeah, the baby tough. We can leave him in the car seat by itself. It'd be all right.
Wow.
And then, you find out that he's been out there all night.
Oof.
All right. Little frost on him.
Little frost, just chill.
Yeah.
Swallowed up nice.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go mine. I feel like you're also saying yours.
Yeah, I'm leaning hard on mine, so it's a 50-50 split.
Let's go.
Let the streets decide.
Yeah, let the streets decide.
3, 2, 1.
Move that van. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. There we go. Ashley Marie Bailey, and she'll do it again.
Can you say how you think she said it when she said, "Come get your baby"?
That's you got to get down there in Texas. Come get your baby.
Okay.
Call Child Protective Services. I wish you would.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because you better come get your baby. Call Child Protective Services. I don't give. Like, Lil Darnell gonna be all right.
Yeah.
He tough.
Yeah. Hey, Mick Truxley will sit out here all night. I don't care. Little Braden.
I'm a believer now.
Yeah.
I believe. I'm mind blown. Emoji and all.
Listen, small town whites are crazy.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, man. Like it was just all the vernacular. But with that being said, shout out to everybody who nailed it in the chat. And it is never a good idea to leave your child on anybody's doorstep, even if it's the other parent. Make sure they get in the house good. The same way you make sure your friend get in the house when you drop them off. Double for the baby?
I mean, it is completely insane to leave a child outside like it's a DoorDash. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just like a burrito sitting on the front porch.
You know, our producer Arlene is saying maybe it could have been a postpartum thing, possibly. But how wild would it have been if not only did she drop the baby off, right, but she took a picture of the baby the same way that the DoorDash and the Amazon people did.
How was your delivery? 5 stars? It's a photo of a baby out there?
This child made too much noise. Probably in that case, not enough noise, because the dad didn't realize that the baby was out there for a long time. That's just wild, man. The streets is wild. Don't be like anybody that we talked about today.
Listen,
was there one redeeming person that we had in today's story? I mean,
the 17-year-old who used ChatGPT to help him write some bars, like, I'm not mad about that. That's a very interesting use case.
He was very honest about that.
Yeah, and he was honest about it.
Oh, Will Smith, he leaned all the way into the cat thing.
Will Smith made cat videos
and played into it. That was and K. Michelle. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
That showed growth. She knew she wasn't ready during that time. So the world ain't all bad.
Most of the show positive.
Yeah.
Most of the show overall positive.
Indeed. And hopefully we added that positivity to your life. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell others that we out here.
Yeah.
And all of those likes and shares, it goes a long way. And it's not lost on us, especially the ones, like I watched somebody do kind of like it was like a pep rally yesterday in the chat, well, the other day in the chat. It was like between I think Kathy Brundridge and Nicole O'Brien. They was like pepping each other up. We love to see that community in the chat. It means a lot.
Oh, it means so much. It means so much. And of course, you guys see us, but there's also some ladies back over here who work really hard on the show. And another lady's joining the show. We've talked about it. Claudia Jordan is going to be joining. Now, that doesn't kick in every single day until for maybe like 2 more weeks, I think. And
something like that.
Yeah, something around there. But we're super excited about Claudia joining us to get her take on all the crazy stories that we talked about.
Because we saw y'all in the chat, too. There was a couple of new faces like, where Claudia at? She ain't here yet?
Yeah.
No, it's coming.
She's busy. She's promoting that movie still. I think she's filming another movie right now.
Non-stop. So if you haven't got a chance to support our sis and check out our brand new movie, Run, be sure you go do that. It's out everywhere where you get to watch movies at. I even saw a billboard somewhere, like on the highway. You know what I'm saying? It made me feel good. Like, yo, that's the homie. I know the homie.
Dope.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
So support, man. It comes in all different sizes, shapes, and forms, and we appreciate y'all for going on this trek with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I don't know. What else is there? I was about to ask ChatGPT to write me some Whose Cousin Is It bars, but I don't know if it'll do it in time.
Sometimes it takes that thinking mode, but don't forget, man, you can catch me in Chicago this coming Saturday at the Den Theater for Spotlight Control Unmuted. So be sure you get your tickets. You can go to the link in my Instagram bio and click on that, and we'll be locked in, and you can get your seats.
All right, guys.
It's gonna be a good old time. So in the meantime, or between time, we'll see you later.
See you guys later. It's Virgo season. Bye.
Peace.
Chance the Rapper reveals his thought on the viral carnival dancing video. Stephen A. Smith gives dating advice. That's a 7 out of 10.
And Tracy Ellis Ross reveals why Barack Obama isn't a good friend. And is baldness a choice? Jadakiss says so. We got a lot to talk about, so welcome to Side Dish.
The world is yours. Sky's the limit.
Hey.
Back at it on this day, huh? Here inside this, we're more than an appetizer when it comes to pop culture and fun. We are the whole meal, gang.
I have a confession, HK.
What's that?
When we were getting ready to do that, we got a lot to get to today, so I almost held out. Oh, here we go. Let's run it back. Doubling it up. I'd like a double quarter pounder. It changed. I almost hit it with a, let's get this started. And then I was like, wait, wrong show.
Exactly. Like, for a second, it felt off to me, too. I think it was the